Hello, my name is Tracy Paleyeth, and I am the Executive Director of the Baltimore County Ethics Commission. This video is designed to help answer any questions employees and members of the Board of Appeals, Electrical Administrative Board, Plumbing Board, Planning Board, Revenue Authority, Administrative Charging Committee, Police Accountability Board, and the Trial Board may have as they complete their online financial disclosures. I am always here to help you if you have any questions. Please contact me at 410-887-5904 or at ethicscommission@baltimorecountymd.gov. This is the first thing you will see when you enter ethicsdisclosures.baltimorecountymd.gov into your computer. Please make sure you are using Google Chrome and not Internet Explorer as your web browser, as the program only works properly with Google Chrome. Also make sure that your screen is maximized so that you can see all of the words on the screen. You will be asked to enter an email address. Your Baltimore County email address is the best one to use if you are an employee who uses your Baltimore County email address every day, and a password that you will create. If you already have an account, go ahead and enter your username and password. You will notice that there is a Forgot Password link that you can click if you forget your password. If you have never signed up for a financial disclosure account before, please check Create New Account. You will be prompted to re-enter your email address to create your new account. Next, you will be prompted to enter your new password twice. There are instructions for setting your password in the list below. Please pick a password you will remember and store it according to Baltimore County's password policy. You will need to know the password again for next year's filing. If you are starting a new disclosure, select New Financial Disclosure. If you are leaving employment with the county or leaving one of the boards mentioned in the beginning of this video, select End of Service Financial Disclosure to do your exit disclosure. You have 60 days from the date you leave to complete your end of service disclosure. Underneath, you will see a box that says My Financial Disclosures. You can select this box to work on a disclosure you have already started but have not yet finished. You will notice yellow boxes at the top of the page. Those boxes tell you where you are in completing your disclosure. In this case, you are just creating your profile. You will not be allowed to skip ahead to the yellow boxes that are grayed out. This page is the first page for filling out your profile. Please fill out your identifying information and indicate that you are a Baltimore County employee or board member. When you indicate that you are a county employee, 3 more boxes will pop up for you to indicate which department you work in, which division, and your job title. The question above those boxes asks if you are running for office. Please indicate no unless you are in fact a candidate for office. You will also see boxes that ask you to enter which board you are a part of. In addition, you will see a box to enter your secondary email address. Please make sure you pick an address that you use so that financial disclosure related email will come to you in case you leave employment with the county. Scroll down and enter your home mailing address, not a P.O. box or business address. Then click the Create Profile button. Go back up to the yellow boxes and you will see that the Fill-in Schedules box has turned bright yellow. Click on that box. You are now going to go through the disclosure schedule by schedule, starting with Schedule A. Most people will answer yes to the question in Schedule A because they have a home or apartment in which they live and for which they pay at least some portion of the rent, mortgage, or household expenses, or have paid off the mortgage, even if they don't have a formal lease. Here you will list all the addresses, regardless of the state they are located in, for properties in which you pay some of the rent or mortgage or have paid off the mortgage. If you own any shares of stock directly or as part of a retirement account like an IRA or Roth IRA, you will report them on Schedule B. You will also report any bonds you own that are issued by corporate entities. Finally, you will disclose any mutual funds you own if and only if they relate to a specific sector that the county is involved in regulating. You will see that if you answer yes to the question in Schedule B, it will cause more questions to pop up. This schedule has been filled in for you so you can see what it looks like when you answer the questions. When you finish answering all of the questions, a chart will appear that lists all of the securities you have listed. If you have several securities, you may wish to answer the first questions as yes, and then send a copy of your latest statement to ethicscommission@baltimorecountymd.gov instead of filling out this schedule security by security. Make sure you black out your account numbers and other protected information if you choose to send a statement. The next schedule you will see is Schedule C. This schedule asks you to report any ownership interests you have in a business, regardless of whether or not the entity did business with the county. If the interest you have is only in stock, please fill out Schedule B and skip Schedule C. This shows you more of how to fill out this schedule if you answered yes to the Schedule C question. This shows you how to fill out the remainder of this schedule if you answered yes to the Schedule C question. This shows you what the schedule will look like when you have finished answering the questions if you answered yes to the Schedule C question. Schedule D is where you list any gifts you have received during the reporting period. You do not have to report gifts from your immediate family or any kind of political contribution. As you see, you are responsible for disclosing gifts worth more than $20 or multiple gifts worth more than $100 if the gift was from a registered lobbyist, an entity engaged in activity regulated or controlled by the county, or an entity that did business with the county. But you are not required to disclose meals or beverages consumed in the presence of the donor or sponsoring entity, or ceremonial gifts or awards of insignificant monetary value. You must also disclose any gifts that meet these criteria that were given at your direction. This shows you more about how to fill out this schedule if you answered yes to the Schedule D question. This shows you how to fill out the remainder of this schedule if you answered yes to the Schedule D question. Next, you will see the schedule to disclose debts and liabilities. You are not required to disclose credit card debt. You are only required to disclose debts to entities that did $5,000 or more in business with the county. Examples of these debts are car loans, mortgages, and installment loans. You must also report any debts owed to registered lobbyists or to entities regulated by the county. Debts your spouse or dependent children owe must be reported only if you were involved in the transaction that gave rise to the debt. This shows what the schedule will look like if you answered yes and filled it out. Schedule F. This shows how to fill out Schedule F if you held any offices, directorships, or salaried or unsalaried employment during the reporting period. In short, if you work another job, this is where you would disclose it, regardless of whether your other employer did business with the county. On Schedule G, if you have a spouse, you must report your spouse's place of employment, even if the place of employment did not do any business with the county. You must also report any salaried or unsalaried offices, directorships, or similar positions your spouse held with an entity that did business with the county. Finally, if your spouse was a regulated lobbyist with the county, you must disclose the name of every client that engaged your spouse for lobbying purposes. This shows you how to complete Schedule G. If you have a dependent child who works for the county or an entity regulated by the county, you would put that information here, which is Schedule H. You disclose relationships with county government in Schedule I. A relationship is anything you do for compensation for representing county government, any contractual relationship with county government, and any transaction with county government that involves monetary consideration. This shows you how to complete the form if your answer to the question in Schedule I is yes. Schedule J requires you to report any business interest you, your spouse, or your dependent children have in a business regulated by the county. This includes any interest you own in a partnership, limited liability partnership, or limited liability company, or the lesser of 10% or more of the capital stock of any corporation if you own capital stock of any corporation worth $35,000 or more. This shows you how to complete Schedule J if the answer to the question is yes. This shows what the schedule will look like if you answered yes to the question in Schedule J. Schedule X asks if you have anything else that you'd like to disclose. It is completely voluntary. When you have completed all schedules, go back up to the top of the screen and click Overview in the yellow box. Now that you have answered the questions in all of the schedules, go back up to the yellow boxes and you should see Overview as a choice. Select that box and review everything you filled out in your financial disclosure. This shows what you need to review and the Edit Profile box you can check if you need to make changes to your profile. This shows you perhaps the most important item that you need to review, the schedules. If you need to make changes, you can do so by clicking on the Update button. You must then choose the yellow box that says Confirmation at the top of the screen and sign your disclosure electronically by clicking on the Apply Electronic Signature button. You will have electronically signed your disclosure as seen here, and then you click on Submit Disclosure to submit it. You will then receive a confirmation that your disclosure was filed. Thank you for joining me for this explanation on how to file your ethics disclosure. Please contact me at the phone number or email address on your screen if you have any questions.